I want to do a quick video for World Mental Health Day because I know a lot of people struggle with issues. They either seek out help by getting the wrong kind of advice or treatment, or they just like being that way and they don't ever really want to change or work on themselves. And programs such as MAID are an excuse for people to get rid of those who have potential and can really do anything anybody else can do. But some people would rather shut them out. And if they can successfully convince a person who is not even sick physically, maybe not as bad off mentally as they anticipated, they are not only getting the wrong kind of advice from the wrong kind of people. The help is just helping those who reach out give up on themselves completely in life, rather than work on improving themselves and healing and getting better. But I'm just doing this video to let you know that conditioning your mind to a state of feeling content can make all the difference in the world, from feeling like you're stuck in life, never going anywhere, and you feel like nobody will ever have your back or support you. Those are conditioned terms that the world teaches you. And it's time to throw away those conditioned terms that you were taught so that you can learn about yourself and your capabilities. Or at least not fall into the trap of an illusion from this bastardized title holder who should probably be working at Starbucks if they would take them, rather than giving you advice on life, because they don't care about you. That's the harsh truth, and I don't claim to be a saint. I'm far from perfect, but I'll tell anybody who is willing to listen that I probably care more about them than some of their own people, especially the ones who they seek out help from. Now, I have a natural desire to help people who I feel are in need of help, or people who just could use a positive word of encouragement. But people also take my desire to help others as a form of weakness, and when that happens, I see the true weakness in the freeloader or the opportunist. But there's an old expression, it's either get busy living or get busy dying. Nobody will ever tell you that, because a lot of people really do hope that you will destroy yourself. But I'm not here to tell anybody who struggles with mental health issues that if you are in a tough situation, you need to give in to the conditions of your situation, because that's something that I would never do. And I hope that's something you would never do either if you're struggling with a mental health issue. But if I can even get one person who feels that way about themselves or their lives to shift their mindset from a pessimist to an optimist, then I've done something far greater than I can ever accomplish regarding anything I do with any of my music or other content I create. And I've had people mishandle me completely just based on coming from abusive and toxic environments where they had me all wrong. They made me out to be something I'm not, and they put it on a piece of paper that I'm something I never really was, in order to make money, be greedy, and controlling. So I cut them loose. That's what you really gotta do. When a person, place, or certain people no longer serve your best interest, they don't serve what's gonna make you become happier, and you can cut them loose. It could be a job, a group of friends, somebody in your relationship who just makes you feel like shit, whatever the case. I know people don't like me and my family, so rather than entertain this idea that they like me or wish me well, they've already proven they don't. When they force themselves into my place of residence, any lying on me, backstabbing, or talking shit about me behind my back is completely discarded by default, because when they come at my table to eat, I'm not present at the table with them, and I separate myself from the room. I know they're a very hateful kind of flock, and I'm not going to tell them to get started with MAID, even if they wish something like that for me. But if somebody ever attempted to alter my records, for example, I would still not be a pessimist and called a freeloader or cheater or liar somebody who is a problem for me, because it's just that lint that you dust off, you brush off the lint. Nobody can do anything to change your life, only you can. And that's how I'm able to remain as happy as anybody could under a toxic or abusive, overbearing, and controlling environment. So my only message today to people is to never give up. A liar could diagnose you with a series of lies and deceptions about yourself when it comes to mental health, because they're a professional, bastardized liar whose opinion becomes irrelevant to knowing your true path in life, knowing how you actually feel, and knowing just what they were taught in school, or even what they defy in the job description to intentionally keep you stuck because it makes them more money that way. So they just look for anything they can use to burden you by using their words, but I'm never going to do that with anybody who chooses to listen to my advice or seeks it out. But I also wasn't really offering it to anybody who doesn't want it. Sometimes people with a lot of mental health issues don't really want help. They just like being weird and or crazy, but that's not my area of expertise. If MAID wants to reach out to the weird and crazy people who treat others like shit, I'm sure it would make for a lovely conversation on some Bavarian dry at a quiet little cafe with your favorite cup, whether it be Starbucks or a rival competitor. Nobody is ever really stuck to anything, even when people intentionally hold us back in life. I wouldn't exactly call this a form of freedom if people are working against you rather than with you, but it's also not your problem, it's their problem, especially if you're not doing anything to it. Now, I don't have a ribbon to cut for World Mental Health Day to make this official, so I'm just going to cut this Dunlop pick. I cut the Dunlop picks. Now it's official. I hope I helped one person today.